And we are live. Welcome to the TuracoCreativeCast, where we talk about things Turaco. We're talking about things comics, anything creative, all Turaco, all the time. I am your host, as always, Frank Salazar, and my co-host is Anna Raub. We have a special guest today. We got the one and only Jim Lujan.
Cat. And Jim Lujan Cat.
Very perceptive.
That's my name.
Oh yeah. And we're gonna be talking about a few things. First we'll just say where you can find us. You can find me on Salazar Art Nation. There is a link tree in the description below, and I'll just put it up here. You can find all my stuff there. I have a coffee account. I have a Gumroad. I have my channel, Salazar Art Nation, and my Instagram. And Anna, where can we find you?
On that link tree thingy that Frank has right here. And
right there.
On Anna Raub Arts on Instagram and Anna Raub on YouTube.
Cool.
The finger.
And Jim, what about you?
Well, they've already found me. Here I am. Here I am. Here I am. And on JimLujan.com.
Right, cool.
Go there and watch all my movies. You like them.
Cool. And we'll just get right into it. I think we have someone in the chat, so let me check.
Oh wow.
We got Gary here. And it's got some sort of strange new pool shark gloves. You mean these, Gary?
Well, honestly, I've had these like the whole time. These are the artist gloves. They prevent smudging and random lines when I'm drawing digitally.
Gary, you should know this. You're an artist.
I see that restraining orders don't apply to chat rooms.
Yeah.
I do?
And it has a new look.
Oh, well, I did get a new webcam and a new mic.
Yeah.
So hopefully it sounds better.
And this is what I was trying to click on, but people were active. Full name, please.
James Michael Lujan Cat is my full name.
The Cat.
No, it's an old mask. It's actually one of the first ones. Okay, focus. We're here to talk about Jim Lujan, not.
No, they are focused. They're just focused on a different thing that you're focused on.
Jim, so what you been up to? I do have a question for you. I'm going to start this off.
Now we're all decked out. How's that?
Yeah, there we go. Okay, I'm going to start this off with a hard-hitting question, Jim. Are you subscribed to Anna Raub?
Of course I am, and there's no way to legally prove that I'm not. So yeah, I will today.
Wait a minute. If he subscribes, doesn't that put me at 100? I'm at 99.
Yes.
You know what? Actually, mine actually took one away from you. It was negative. So, I'm sorry.
You subscribe and I get to 99. No, 98.
You're stuck there now. Sorry.
It keeps going down. No. New camera, new makes everything look new, I guess.
Anna, what's your YouTube channel? And I will subscribe.
Anna Raub.
Just that on YouTube?
Yeah, just type in Anna Raub and her channel will come up.
Actually, let me try that.
There is it is in the link tree. So let me.
Oh, shocking! It actually comes up when you type down Anna Raub YouTube.
Yeah, I wasn't lying.
Right.
I check it all the time to see how many subs you have.
He checks it so much that it rises to the top of YouTube. Yeah, 99 subs. Wow.
I've been on YouTube since 1971.
Really?
Yes. And I still don't have that many subscribers. So let's hook that up, people.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Check out Jim Lujan's channel. He's got. Well, what do you have on there, Jim? Like, what do you do? For those that don't know,
I have like tons of animated shorts, and a bunch of animated features that I've done, maybe like 5 of them on there. You can spend hours and days and weeks on there. And I've also got a few process clips, how to type or how I do my stuff. I'm going to have more of those soon. And what else do I have? I don't have any UFO footage. I don't have any TikTok dances yet. And I don't have any fails, drunken fails. So
drunken UFOs dancing on TikTok.
How drunken aliens falling down while they're doing TikTok dances.
Mm-hmm.
But go there and subscribe. I should have at least 10, 15 more subscribers than I have now, at least. So let's make that happen.
Gary says he has been catching up on your work and highly recommends it.
Thank you, Gary.
Excellent.
And,
same to you, Gary. Same to you. Go check out Gary's Dinosaurs versus Mars box. DVSM.
Which I think I have.
ASAP.
I have one here somewhere.
TGIF.
All right, cool. So how'd you get into animation and creative stuff in general?
Well, ever since I was the kid. I'm way young. I'm a lot younger than my siblings. Almost 10 years difference between me and the next one. So I would always be the one when they would come home or when they'd bring a friend home or whatever, I'd run to them and say, look at this comic book I made. Look at this comic book, read it in front of me, and constantly making stuff like that. And then probably when I was about 12, I started really getting into music. And I wanted to play music, but I didn't know how to play anything. So I just faked instruments and had a little tape recorder and would make up songs and stuff like that. So then music became a really big thing in my teen years. I was really into a lot of music. And then as I got a little bit older, I started getting into film. I was really into film. So then I decided, well, what combines all three, music, film, and art? Animation. So there we have it. So I started making animated films around probably before you guys were even born. So
yep, I
long time ago.
Probably. I'm pretty young.
It was in the late 1930s.
Oh,
so.
Good.
But that's how I got in, and been loving it ever since. But I'm actually, funnily enough, I'm not really, and it sounds sacrilegious, but I'm not really into all animation. I'm not just an animation buff. No, I'm not. I'm into. I think there's a lot more live action stuff that I like than animated stuff. To tell you the truth, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love me some Bugs Bunny, and I love me Underdog. I will always love Underdog. Love some of the Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends and Bullwinkle and just lots of things. George of the Jungle, remember those?
Yeah.
but Tom and Jerry, the violent Tom and Jerry.
Yeah.
The good Tom and Jerry.
Yeah, but I'm just not an animation historian. I used to do an animation podcast, and I was one of 3 hosts, and I was the one that probably spoke the least because I didn't know animation history that well. I do know some of it, though. I do know some. The important stuff I do know, but I'm not Mr. Animation by any means. I at one point wanted to be a comic book artist. That was my goal. I got crazy mad respect for all comic book artists. I think comic book art is probably my favorite art in the world.
Yes.
So, yes.
Cool. Okay, cool. So what are some of your comic book influences?
For sure, John Byrne. That was my guy. John Byrne in the 1980s. And and I'm trying to think before that. Just here and there, picking up. I didn't know that many artists. I did know who John Byrne was because when I first got into comics as a kid, John Byrne, it was at his height. He was like a rock star. So you of course you knew who John Byrne was. He was like, he was the Justin Bieber of comics, if you will. He was that was the other JB. But I love John Byrne stuff, and so that's when I was like getting comics around then. And there's a few artists. There's another guy named Mike Zeck. You know who that is? He did a lot of G.I. Joe covers, and he did Captain America. Okay. Yeah, I like that guy a lot.
I might have seen his work. I don't know a lot of the names.
There was this one guy. He's kind of underground. Not that many people know of him, but his name's Jack Kirby. And
sounds familiar.
You got to really dig deep and find his stuff. But he was one of my favorites. I don't know whatever happened to him. I think he's doing. I don't know. He's doing zines or something now.
Wow. He sells insurance.
Yeah. But and it's funnily enough, Steve Ditko. As a kid, I used to think he's not drawing right. These people are weird looking. And now I think he's like the most amazing artist. Like like he's incredible. Like, and I get it. And it's just something when you get a little bit older, you kind of appreciate it more. But as a kid, it was John Byrne, Jack Kirby, Mike Zeck, and Paul Smith. There's another artist named Paul Smith that did the X-Men. These are all ancient aliens. So
I saw a Jack Kirby documentary recently, so I've been getting more into his stuff, and I watched
what
videos on. I think it was it's like a series of documentaries, and Deco was one of them. I think it was like you don't know, or you don't know, or maybe I don't know. I'll look for it and I'll send you the link. I know there is a zine by Javier Hernandez called You Don't Know Ditko.
Well, let me give you a little insider scoop. Javier and Hernandez and I are very good friends.
What?
We're very good friends.
Cool. Can you get him on the show? Because he's not answering my calls.
Jav and I have been friends since about 2008 or 2007. Yeah, I could tell him. I'll tell him. Yeah, but it's gonna cost you.
Oh, okay. You can be on again next week.
So much.
We got a question here about animation. Who's your favorite animator, and did you meet any of them in a con?
Good
While
question.
you were doing cons, or you were being a con artist, did you ever meet one of them?
My favorite animator is Bill Plimpton, I better say, because I made a movie with him. But besides that, he's my favorite animator. I really do love Bill Plimpton's stuff. I love Ralph Bakshi's stuff too. Plimpton, Bakshi. Then we start getting into like the Looney Tunes guys and Tex Avery and those type of guys. Pretty much that's it. And me.
Paul Pate says, have you guys heard of Stanley?
Oh, it's two words. I always thought it was Stanley.
Yeah, I thought it was like Prince. Stanley.
Yeah, I have heard of Stan Lee and his brother Bruce, and I'm a fan of both of them. So thank you, Paul Pate.
I think their nephew Jason.
Jason Lee. Yeah, and all the Lees. Lee Marvin,
Jim Lee,
Jim Lee,
fan.
Miley, all of them.
Okay, Gary's got a few questions here. Okay, he's got some questions. Number one, you're doing almost everything in your work: writing, drawing, music, voices, animation. What stage is the music written? Okay.
Usually music first. I usually, except for the one I'm doing now, and it's a mistake. I should have done all the music first. because that inspires me to do. Like if I'll record some music and I'll be like, that sounds like this type of thing would be happening in it, or this would be really good for this. And sometimes I'll sit on the music for months and months and months. But but the one I'm doing now, I recorded some of the music, and about half of it I'm having to do now, and it's like I'm scoring to the film, and it's not as fun.
Yeah,
it's difficult.
Okay,
because now
it's kind of like the Marvel way of doing things. Like you're inspired by the music, and then you start doing.
Absolutely, yeah. When I first heard of the Marvel method, I was like, oh my gosh, this is like that. That's how I would make comics if I was teaming up with someone. Exactly. Yeah, I'm not a rigid plan person, like stick to the plan. Like even when I've made a film with a script, working with other people and has a script, it's like we just end up going off the script. So
fascinating.
And here's a part 2 or a second question from Gary. It seems like almost all of your characters come from a very specific slice of California, or maybe broadly southwestern life. Is it just because it's familiar, or is there something more to it?
It's just because it's familiar. Next question. I'm kidding.
Oh, okay. Next.
We're actually half joking. That's probably true because it is familiar. Right, what you know, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Even my space or science fiction movies, they have a California bit. Although I did one movie, go look it up on YouTube. It's called 7 Smiles, and it's a 1980s New York gangster like film, kind of like a Scarface.
Okay.
It's funny. It's funny.
I think I've seen that one.
Yeah, and
I saw Infinity Pool.
Oh, that's my weird one. I like it.
I saw Freak Daddy.
You saw.
You just want to steal my beats.
Freak Daddy, yeah, that's what I'm looking at.
I haven't seen that one, but I know Anna showed me.
Freak Daddy is actually kind of. I mean, it's got a sadness to it too.
Mm-hmm.
And around that time is when I realized, I mean, I can be silly and have a little bit of sad in it, or a little bit of melancholy in it too. So it's not all just silly. But yeah, that's one of my favorite ones. That's actually, that cartoon is the first cartoon that I did using the method that I use to this day.
Wow.
And I call it the Freak Daddy method. Yeah. And I'm going to bring up Javier Hernandez's name right now, an example. So when I did Freak Daddy, I reused a lot of artwork, but I disguised it. And I reused a lot of characters, and I would just change the shading or color and reuse, copy and paste, just reuse a lot of stuff. And I never used to really do that. And when I did that, and I was like, wow, this is like, not only was it easier, but it looks better, and it blah, blah, blah. And then Javier Hernandez called me after he saw Freak Daddy for the first time, and he says, I remember, he goes, man, you did a lot of art for that. And I was like, no, Javier, I didn't. Just like that, I said it like that. No,
that's great.
I did a lot less artwork, and I got more mileage out of it. So I use that to this day. I use that method. So still a lot of drawing, a lot of drawing, but I don't have to draw the main characters as much. So I did like a front, side, and back view of the main characters, and then I just tweak it. That's it.
Excellent.
Nice.
What program are you using?
I know you. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I draw them on the iPad in Procreate, and then I bring it in. Yeah, and then I bring it into Photoshop and do some stuff, and then animate it using an ancient version of Flash that the Aztecs used to use.
Lots of history lessons from Jim today.
Yes, Flash MXXXX. So Flash MEX. So
cool.
But
go ahead.
No, that's it.
Oh, okay.
Multi-stage process.
I know you were doing a show with Corey Kerr for a while, Indimation Conversation, and in one of those videos you talked about your method, which was kind of like something that you, at least at first, something you kind of hobbled together. So like you're talking about the old version of Flash.
Yes. Oh, Corey loves to make fun of me because one of the reasons is because I use ancient technology I use Morse code in my film. No, I mean, I know that there's a lot. I could easily upgrade my computer and get the latest,
secrets.
Yeah, I could use After Effects or Flash or Adobe Animate. Like, it's all available, all that stuff. But here's another thing: what I have works, and if you have what you have works, you just try to ride that train until there's no more tracks, and then you jump through, And I'm having fun right now, so I kind of don't. I am literally going to use this computer and this program until I can't use it anymore.
And that's a Commodore 64.
I'm on a Commodore 65.
Oh, okay.
I upgraded, so.
But, Radio Shack.
Yeah. Ironically, my computer did come out the same year as the Commodores did with Lionel Richie. That an old reference that Anna has no idea what that means.
Nothing.
Lionel Richie was the 14th president of the United States, and the Commodores were his backing band. So.
Oh, cool. Well, speaking of using, I guess, outdated technology, I did this the other day just for fun. So I inked this Captain Courage, and I did it with a stick.
What?
Oh.
And a sponge.
That is prison comics.
Good job, Captain Courage.
You're making prison comics over there. That's crazy. And then you stabbed a guard with the brush.
Yeah, like, give me more ramen.
You didn't run out of pens over there, did you?
No. We're having a conversation about inking and pens, and people were talking about their expensive pens. And I was thinking to myself, I can do something cool with something less. So, like, what do I have? So I found a matchstick and I shaved it. And I also made this character for Peter Sekarit's his character. So I did this with a stick.
Is that Unga Bunga?
Did you do that one with a human tooth?
I did it like that.
That'll be the next art challenge.
Yeah. There is something, I was just saying this the other day to somebody, there is something that will never be replaced, drawing ink on paper, or, I know digital, I love digital, it's great and it's useful, but ink on paper is I just went digital maybe about 4 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago. And I did it slowly because I would start cheating. I would draw like my things in a little sketchbook and scan them, and then I would start cheating. I'll do this one shot digitally, and then do some more. And then when I got the iPad, it was like a slow crossover over a year. And actually, Infinity Pool is the first film I did where it's digital meets analog, meets ink. Because some of it's digital and it wasn't a moment in the film where it switched. It's like literally one shot will be digital, maybe another shot's, analog. In fact, most of it's inked by hand, most of it, but it's hard to tell.
Oh, wow. Yeah, then, I couldn't tell. I
would forget. And then when I thought, well, if I'm forgetting and I'm the one that did it, then it really doesn't matter, your medium. It's just, it's going to suck no matter what, right? So,
and we got Paul making deep cuts here. 64, 65, whatever it takes. And Gary said, Mr. Mom cut.
Is that from Mr. Mom? Did they say that in there?
I guess so. I've seen that movie. It's been a while, but I don't remember. So, man, Paul really dug in there.
I like the sequel. The sequel to Mr. Mom, Mrs. Doubtfire, was really good. So, the next level.
Yeah. All right, I think I missed some. I know they're talking about broccoli Lee and
Big
Lee
fan.
And cheese.
Big
broccoli. What have we started?
I don't know, but I like it.
So I have a story for you here.
Sure.
Bring it on.
I'm going to show you the first paperback that I ever owned as a youth. And it's this one right here.
Mad about mad.
This is Sergio Aragon is his first. Sergio Aragon is an artist from Mad Magazine. Mad Magazine is a comedy magazine that was in the 70s and 50s and 60s. All right, but this is my hero as a kid. And okay. And
Wow.
and so my first Comic-Con that I ever went to, I knew Sergio was going to be there.
Okay.
So I rushed up to him and I had him sign this. And he signed it for me in 2004. He signed it for me and he told me, "You're not going to sell this, are you?" And I'm like, "No." Like it didn't even occur to me. And then I realized, oh man, there's guys who just get stuff signed so they can sell it. So I'm selling this tonight for you. Use special code Turaco and save 25%. Okay. But yeah, Sergio Aragon is like probably my favorite artist. So yes. Paul met Sergio a few years ago in Michigan.
Did he?
That's what he says. You can't lie on him.
That's what you said. No one can lie on the internet.
That's legal. That's legal right there.
Cool.
So and thank you for watching Infinity Pool. There's been a thing, an internal battle in my head I used to have, one of many, where I used to think, should I be doing short cartoons or longer cartoons? Shorter are easier to get people to watch. Longer ones are more of an investment. You can do more in a longer cartoon. Finally, I'm at the stage in my life where I really stopped caring about that and just said, I'm just going to do cartoons that I want to do. If they're an hour long, they'll be an hour long. I don't care because I give up. I just want to make stuff that makes me happy at this point. So Matt,
what's your schedule kind of look like for putting those together?
Well, I do work. I work a 9 to 5. I pay the bills because I have skills to pay the bills. So I'm applying those skills. But I've always worked, always found time to do it. You know what? I don't watch a lot of movies and I do not play a lot of video games. But my free time goes to this is what people would normally be killing 2 hours playing the game. I'm working on this stuff for 2 hours.
Yeah.
And you just find time. You chip away at it. And then another thing too, I have a method. I've developed a method of my own. Like I figured out what works for me so that I could work quickly. So, hey, Red Gossip said, Infinity Pool starts with an Art Bell reference. Yes, kind of. Maybe not directly Art Bell, but it's like that whole world. It's that whole conspiracy world. There's a character named Dr. Jonah, and he's completely like inspired by Art Bell, like that type of guy. Yeah, I don't know. What if stuff that I'm making up turns out to be true? That would be kind of interesting, right?
If you like conspiracies, like you'll like that one.
Oh yeah. I know. Poor Frank. He's probably like, do I need to call the authorities when I have Jim on, or is he all right? You gonna be all right?
I had to call Corey.
Foil hats.
Yeah.
I called Corey. Is it okay that I have them on? I know Scott said I shouldn't.
Corey's like,
and Josh said, I don't know, man.
Corey's like, he doesn't have your number, does he, Frank?
No.
By the way, if you're into conspiracies, I just want to say that my new book, 7991, is out now. And here's something cool you could do with this book. If you shake the book, it changes colors. Isn't that cool?
Oh, let me try that.
Changes colors.
Oh, yeah.
That is some
technology. That's pretty advanced.
I'm getting $20 in the mail now for doing that. I bet you. Maybe
No,
50.
200.
220.
Well, I got 20 stickers in the mail last time. So that's scary. I'm not kidding. He sent me stickers because I kept talking about it.
You know what we should
Oh,
do?
that's great.
We should take Gary's stickers and we should put them on the back of police cars all over every city, and then it really will be a conspiracy.
Yeah.
I might get arrested.
Probably.
I might be making more prison comics.
Or Gary.
Oh,
no. Then that shank will come in handy right there. Go get the book too, folks. It's really good. Not just because I know the guy. $10.
$10.
Cash register sound effect. Cha-ching.
At that rate, you could just start plugging random products.
Well, I think Jim takes tips from me, or I take tips from Jim.
I have never touched your tips. I've left them in the jar. So
okay,
somebody's getting them.
I wasn't sure where you're going.
Hey,
I was like,
what happens in prison stays in prison.
I was about to get this one ready. I was like, oh
no. Yeah, of course.
Classic.
It's a matter of time. Papa, I'm sorry, Papa. So what other fine questions do we have in the chats here? Let's see.
Fine questions.
So,
well, I have some here.
Random viewer 27 says, Jim, you're like the best guy ever, coolest dude, best artist I've ever seen in my life, and you rock. Oh, it just went away.
Oh,
sorry.
Yeah, I couldn't see it. I did get this from
Gary.
I
definitely
sad
saw
I didn't get a.
It must have been a Snapchat.
If he comes on again, we might be able to rig one.
Yeah.
I win.
I suddenly thought of a question that I didn't remember to write down here.
Question.
Yes. Do you voice all of the characters, or do you outsource? And if so, what kind of...
Or do you
resource?
Do
you voice manipulate it?
Something?
He manipulates them.
I manipulate their heads. Up until about 6 years ago, I was doing all the voices, everything. Like that was like I do everything. I do the music, I do the voices, except for the theme songs. I have a friend, Nisam, who sings my theme songs, most of them.
Okay.
And but other than that, I would do everything: the music, the voices, everything. And then I started kind of like sneaking a few in here, a friend here, and a friend there. And about 6 or 7 years ago, it really started becoming a lot of fun. Like, oh, this is like, I will design a character for this person, and since then, it's been one of the most fun things. It really gives me a lot of fuel to cast people in the films. And what I like to usually do is I won't usually create the character first and then get somebody to do the voice. I usually will have somebody in mind, like, oh, it'd be really funny to have, Frank play, a little 6-year-old blonde kid.
I used to have blonde hair when I used to dye it. I used to have hair.
I could see it.
And you were 6 years old at one point, I'm sure.
No, at one point I was 6 years old.
But yeah, so like that's kind of where that comes in, and it's been a lot of fun. Like I really do, and it's kind of like it's usually like the same small group I always end up using, But it's a nice luxury because I could do the voices myself, but it's not as much fun for me. So I like to bring other people in, and it adds a lot to it too. They bring a lot to the people that I bring in. They add a lot.
In Infinity Pool, you played the voice of the actress or the singer, but the singing voice was someone else.
Yeah, yes, Beverly Summerwine. She's kind of like my Barbara Streisand-ish, a recluse character that disappears from the public eye. And so the story behind that is, I always knew I was going to do the voice of her because it was like over dramatic, actress voice, and I think I pitch corrected it a little bit.
Okay.
But the singing voice, okay, so a lot of those songs from Infinity Pool were my cousin Mike and I, Mike Perez and I. And I've been doing music with Mike since I was 14 years old. And he plays guitar. And we've made up probably 400 songs or so. I don't know, a ton of stuff. And when it came time to doing the songs, I said, let's take a couple of our old songs and let's do them. And then we'll have you can sing them and I'll speed up your voice. So it sounds and it'll sound really creepy, and it sounded way more creepy than I ever thought. It's bizarre. It's so weird, and which is weird because at the end I had an opportunity to replace Mike's vocals with the real singer, and I was really tempted to, but then I was like, you know what? I'm not going to because it's just so weird. It's so weird, and it's so off and bizarre, and it's like taking a magic ingredient out of a recipe. It's like, why is there licorice in this chorizo? But for some reason, it's like there's no other chorizo that's even close to tasting like this. So yeah, so I left, and it was fun, and he got a kick out of it, and so yeah, it's just, it is what it is. It is what it is. But there's been other things where I've used people who like my friend Lisa sings really, really good, and she sang a few songs for different things. That's one of the other things too. I love writing songs. That's equal to making movies. I love writing songs. And at first, when I used to record with Mike, I used to sing all the songs, and it was fun. But I do not get a joy out of doing that. I get a joy. I'm not a front man in a band. I'm the side guy. I'm not a Mick Jagger. I'm a Keith Richards. I'm not a Tina Turner. I'm an Ike Turner. So look out. Prison goggles.
Mic drop.
I want to see that character now in one of your movies, Prison Comics.
Oh no!
Prison Comics.
Be careful,
So I'm going to tell you, this is actual truth, and people that have followed my work.
Actual truth
that have followed my work.
Not like the other stuff.
Back when I first started doing animation, I created 3 or 4 animated shorts, and I put them on a VHS, and I zipped on down to my local East LA public access TV channel called Buenavision, and I went in there with the videotape, and I said, hey, I heard people get their own TV shows on public access. Could I have a TV? And so the guy, Richard Estrada, was working there. And I remember he popped in the tape.
Eric's brother?
What's that?
Eric's brother?
Yeah, Eric's brother, Eric and Rick, So he watched it, and he was laughing, and I'm like, okay, this guy is one of me. He's got it. And he gave me a television show on public access where I'd show my cartoons. And I didn't even have any other cartoons, so I had to go home and make more to catch up. And one of the cartoons on there was a cartoon, and just imagine this. It was a cartoon called Prison Love.
Oh boy.
That was the title of it, Prison Love. And it wasn't an R-rated cartoon. It was a PG, easy PG. But just the title alone, Prison Love. And people still to this day will come up to me and they'll sing the theme song to me. They'll go, Prison Love,
Oh,
Is that on YouTube?
No, I had it on YouTube. Maybe I'll send it to you secretly, but I took it off.
Okay.
It's too much. It's too much. It was a different time. What happened in
it was a
prison.
different time. Long ago.
Yeah, I mean,
the galaxy far, far away.
That was a time when I started doing animation. People were trying to be outrageous a little bit more than now. It was when Spike and Mike was really big, and they had a thing called Sick and Twisted, but it's when right before Beavis and Butthead came out. It was around that time, the 90s, the late 90s. It was animation was really wild, really So I didn't mention Mark Judge because I don't know who Mark Judge is. I know Mike Judge. So Mike
That's
Judge,
what I was thinking, but like I don't know who Mark Judge is, but I was thinking Mike Judge.
Mike's brother. He does. He only animates fruits and vegetables. So I'm not as big a fan as him. But
we got
Mike Judge. Yeah, Mike Judge was a hero. Mike Judge is one of the reasons I got into animation.
Okay.
Out
of the 10,000 characters you've made, do you have
so
a favorite?
many.
What? Let's see. I would say my favorite character right now is a character I did. There's a thing I did called All That Glitters.
Oh.
There's a character. It's like an hour long. You can watch it on YouTube. Oh, it just got turned down by Amazon. So
really?
For licensing, I don't know. We can't figure it out. I own everything in it. I am the like if I'm going to sue somebody, I'm going to sue me. So I don't know, but they won't. Yeah. But they're really strict. Amazon's very like, nope, we turned it down. You can't. Sorry, you can't talk to us. So but whatever. It's on YouTube, and but it's called All That Glitters. So go check it out. But there's a character. He's a lawyer, and his name is Danny Fingerman, and he's got like a yellow. He's got a blonde like ponytail and a little thin mustache. And he's real.
I've seen you draw him before. So.
Yeah, and he kind of like if he's your lawyer, you're going to jail because he's like, yeah, judge, you know what I'm saying, judge, you know what I'm saying. You know, he's kind of like too slick for his own good, and I can't wait to do another. Like that's one of the most fun characters to do because he's such an idiot. He's like such an idiot. But that's one of my favorite characters right now.
We got the mistake here, correction here is talking about his friend Mark Judge, which you might know him.
Yeah, you see, I told you on the internet. On the internet, you can only say things that are true, so that's why he fixed that because it's legal. Yeah.
Yep.
You brought up All That Glitters, and I was going to mention this. There's a character there. It's one of the main characters. Is he inspired in look wise by Bill Murray, the one with the hair?
God, yes. Yes, that's funny. I looked at a picture of Bill Murray and I went, I'm going to draw a character that looks like that. And I did it too good. Because normally when I do that, it looks nothing like the person. And you're like, this is so original. Who is this supposed to be? Is this supposed to be Marlon Brando? And I'm like, no, that's like, that was Pee Wee Herman, you know? So, and this time I looked at the picture of Bill Murray, and I thought, okay, in my head, I'm going to draw it like that, and it looks like him. Like, yeah, thank you. But his voice wasn't supposed to be like Bill Murray, but his look was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I expected Bill Murray to voice him. I was like, oh, cool, you got Bill Murray.
When we do the All That Glitters movie, Bill Murray will be playing that character, you know, for sure. Yes.
And we got another question by Gary Hodges.
Yes.
It was reported you are considering Gary Hodges for a future voice role. Do you already have a character in mind? And if so, can you share it here tonight?
Well,
no.
I would be a fool to share it here when it's
classified.
It's going to dazzle the audience and with the razzmatazz from his vocal magistry. So, but yes, the rumors are true. I am going to ask Gary to do a voice or two for me in the future, and he doesn't know what it is because I don't know what it is. I like that.
All right. Paul says Danny Fingerman is hilarious, and we got Peter Retro Palmiati in the chats.
I know that guy.
Anna, Jim, Paul Pate, and the Machine Gary.
We got Paul Pate and Peter Palmiati. Paul Pate, Peter Palmiati, Paul Pate. Peter Parker, Paul Pate, Peter Palmiati. Okay, just keep going on.
It sounds like an introduction.
Well, that's a Dave Letterman reference.
There you go.
From the... I know my stuff. Just that.
I don't.
That was back when people watched the Oscars.
See, I waited to come into this world until after the 90s.
Yeah.
Yes. So you don't know about the Great Dinosaur Martian War?
No, I was off in space somewhere. I was.
It happened before you were born.
To come to Earth. Yeah.
Okay. You read it. You won't read about it in those school books, or should I say, school iPads?
School tablets.
Paul Pope couldn't make it. That's a good joke.
Oh, cool.
That was a good one. Feel free to just say names with a double P in them tonight.
And he's gonna say it. I'm
Paula
sure
Poundstone. Paula Poundstone.
Oh, cool. Oh, she's an oldie.
Peter Porges. Porky Pig. Porky Pig.
Yeah.
Just keep going.
Please spell Porky Pig.
P-O-R-K-Y. Spell Porky Pig. Speaking of dinosaurs,
prison pens. Prison pen.
In my comic,
Prison pen.
Masculine's Field Journal, there is a baby dino that Masculine takes care of.
Sure
Wow!
enough.
What did you draw that with?
The little Spinosaurus. It's
I
definitely
know.
what he drew with.
I drew it with pencil first, and then I took a picture and I put it on the computer. Then I used one of the programs, I think, Medibang. And this version I printed on resume paper, so it has that yellow look to it.
Wow, that's really good looking. It looks really clean. Good job.
Yeah. Almost
Comics are hard. Comics are hard.
Yeah, that's what I tell people, and they say no. Like, you do
Somebody
it.
named Anna Banana Raub says Porky Pig, Purple People Eater. It has an E in it though.
Prince Philip.
Oh, Prince of Pomona. There you go.
And a banana. This is gonna be the second half of the show with just us reading names.
Hey, at least we're past the halfway point.
Yes, we did it. And the police haven't arrested any of us yet. This is great.
Yeah.
So I have.
So you go ahead.
Oh, I have one more thing I want to show you.
Oh, cool.
Oh yeah?
Yes. Beloved book.
Silver Surfer.
Changed my childhood.
And he was changed from then.
I drew all of this by myself
Good job.
with the tooth of a chihuahua.
Like we said earlier, everything on the internet is true.
Dipped in Kool-Aid. This book, though, as a child, this book, and one more. This book, these two, this is the 1-2 punch for me as a kid.
The fun book.
And this.
And
These
the
two books
Surfer.
were deeply inspired me to get into comics. Have you ever seen this? You ever seen this book?
I don't think I've seen
Wait.
that.
I did,
Whoa.
but not in person. My
It's
professor
amazing.
at college was a big comic fan.
Look
and
at
had it on the projector.
your college assignments right here. And then followed up with this, of course.
I wonder if I had that. It's been so long.
And let's see how many words you can find for the next hour. Can you go?
Word game.
Turaco.
Turaco.
That's
I thought I saw
definitely
Anna
what it
in there
says.
somewhere.
I thought I saw Anna too, but it's Amni.
Prison pens.
I see lot. And
Lots of it.
Man.
This book, though, I mean, I love this book. This book is so good. It was such a inspiring thing. Look at, I even drew lines. Actually, I just did this last night. So, but look at it. It's falling apart. This book. But, anyways, this was a great book. I suggest you guys go back in time and get it. It's really, really great.
Yeah, I'll get my time machine ready.
Yes, get working on that time machine. Does anybody out there in the audience have this book? And if so, does anybody bind books? Bind them, because this book is falling apart.
Honestly, I've got a book too that I got to figure out how
Look
to
at, where else can you do superhero footwear?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. That's pretty cool.
Look at that toe on Shang-Chi. Look at that toe. Pretty
Nice. You could use that to study feet.
Mm-hmm.
pointing at the answer. So,
I bought this a couple of years ago at the Dollar General. It's a Marvel coloring book,
nice.
and it has really cool pages. Looks like they were covers at one point.
Cool.
I'll see that Marvel book and I'll raise you one. Don Martin steps out.
Oh wow!
Yes. And if you're lucky, I'll also throw in Matt's Don Martin steps further out. You see how it works?
Further.
See? You got him stepping out, but then it ain't over yet. He's like, no, I'm going to step further out. So how do you like that? And he's dead.
The next one needs to be steps too far out.
Don Martin dead is the next book. So he really is.
Gary says, I did not have either, but I want that Silver Surfer book.
Well, I'll sell this to you for. I was gonna say $50,000, but I'm a friend.
Only $700.
$30,000.
Oh, okay.
Gary.
That's better.
Yes. Here, Gary, you can't have the book, but you know what you can have? You can have a sneak preview of the book.
Oh,
Here's a sneak preview of the book.
so cool.
He's naked.
He looks like he's dabbing.
So, and I try to explain. I tried to explain the Silver Surfer to somebody one time, and they're like, "Wait, he's like a surfer in space?" I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Well, what does he do?" And I go, "He surfs in space."
And he's silver.
Silver.
He surfs in space, man.
He's a Silver Surfer. Duh. You know, and so does Spawn? I don't know. Maybe he does, but this guy surfs, so
he does what it says on the tin. Oh,
Yeah.
You got a request. Jim Lujan reads Silver Surfer. That's going to be on his channel.
Yeah,
I'll read you the whole book. I'll read it with an Irish accent. That'll be good. Silver Surfer. And here, I got one more. Because I know that so many of the viewers are Ivy League educated and very sophisticated.
he knows.
Yes.
I'm going to show you this book here.
True. Ooh.
Dave Berg. This
Looks
is for the
at things.
intelligent Mad Magazine viewer, the ones that were intellectual. Because I don't know if you know this, but Dave Berg's people always look really weird, strange.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they're kind of cool. Dave Berg. But,
I used to have a couple of Mad Magazine paperbacks when I was a youth that I found at a thrift store. I don't remember the names. I don't remember where they are, but I want to see if I can find some online.
a lot of my backgrounds and my background props and things were directly inspired by Mad. Like how I draw buildings and windows and things like that. They were straight out of Mad, more than comic books. I was into, and I'd still love Mad if it was still really around, but from the ages of 4 to 19, I don't know, I was into Mad. I was really into Mad. Comics didn't come around till I was around 10 or something like that, and I was really only deeply into comics for about 5 or 6 years, and then kind of fell out of them, and then late in my 20s met some comic book artists and hey, I can draw too, and then saw what they were doing and realized, oh, comics are kind of coming back, and but I never got back into comics, reading them. But I don't read comics. I just hang out with comic book creators. That's all I do. Dave did a fold-in for the
AAA anthology.
Yeah, actually, I was looking for it here. I think it might be in the living room, though. But Some of us do. We're in an anthology series called the 9-Volt Anthology. So I got my first story, Captain Courage, published in here for the first time.
Nice.
And in the second edition, Anna got hers published in for the first time.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Wow, that's really, really good. Both of you guys.
And I was looking for the holiday edition, but I think I have it in the other room. But on the back, one of the creators who was also a interim host for the show, Dell, aka Shy Guy, he did a Mad Magazine style fold-in on the back, a holiday edition.
The infamous
wow.
Dale.
Which
Now,
you could fold it, but I didn't want to. I bought 2 copies and I did
yeah.
fold one and I gave it away. But on the one I have now, I'm not gonna fold it.
I don't read
I wasn't gonna fold it
any
either.
comics that are drawn with pens that are not expensive pens, though. I just want you to know. So they have to be really expensive. Oh, by the way, Paul Pate.
Sure.
Paul Pate, your cousin bought me this mug. That's a trivia fact. That's valuable information. She
Very
did. Your cousin bought me
insightful.
this mug from Mount Baldy. Mm-hmm. That's right.
Paul says, Gary, Jim texts me every page of your DBSM 1997 book, so I don't have to buy it.
But my thumb was on the very last panel, so he's like, Gary, can you send me the last panel because Jim's thumb was blocking it? So I'm like, of course. Of course. Yes.
Yeah, Dale's not here tonight. I don't know why.
So tell me a little bit about this AAA. Like, if my car breaks down, will you guys come pick me up, or how does that work?
No,
If
we'll
your
just hand
car
you a
breaks
comic.
down and you call us, we'll make a comic about it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That actually does
It's,
sound like something Frank would do.
Yeah.
What does AAA stand for? And I don't mean your beliefs. I mean the letter.
We believe in. I think it's action something.
Action,
They said it before.
Amazing artists that take action, I think.
I mean, something like that. I don't know. It got convoluted after a while. It was created by Marshall Lee. It's a Discord
I know
server.
him. I know him. Marshall.
There's actually a link in the description below that it's an open invite, so it can take you to there. If you
Very
are
interesting. And how many members are in this organization?
There are about 200 members.
What?
90% of those are inactive. I don't know. There's about like
like me.
10 to 15 active.
I look.
You mean they don't exercise, or
They're not.
Yeah.
They just
They're just a
let
bunch
their
of couch
diet go.
potatoes.
they're inactive? Okay. Can we have can you make it a mandatory requirement that each one of them subscribe to my YouTube channel, Jim Lujan?
Mm-hmm.
Or
Mandatory.
else
Or else.
stiff financial penalty.
I'll drop it in the suggestions. And
Imagine if Jim just joined, said subscribe to my YouTube channel, and then left.
Yeah, that would be classy. That's very classy.
Very classy.
People like that type of stuff. It adds mystery.
yeah, they're like, who's that?
Yeah.
Especially when people ask me to follow them or to accept their invites on Facebook, and the first thing they do is they send me a link to their project that we're working on. Never saying hi before. It's so mysterious and classy. I love it.
Go buy this.
Some
Give
of
me
the people here are saying what AAA stands for.
Is it?
Peter.
Watch out.
Animals are a riot.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's actually true.
Ambiguous
Artist. I like that. Yes. Or maybe it's like, and this is an old deep cut from the Happy Days. Maybe it's like Fonzie. Maybe it's just shortcake. Cool.
Gary says, I don't understand what Discord is. Discords are because I'm old.
We gotta explain that.
Discord is like in the 70s where people used to go to dance. Like Saturday Night Fever took place in a Discord. So
cool.
That's one thing you can look up.
You see this chord here?
Lessons.
Discord. Discord. Yeah.
And that cord.
Yes.
Garrus
So that's pretty cool. You have a powerful clan going there with this
Much power.
AAA
Such
army that you
great
have.
Responsibility.
You wield the power of the AAA. With great power comes great something. I forget.
You could make a sword where, like, it's the AAA, but it has the little points and then one long point, which makes the little rocket ship tape.
Or you could get a
thing.
sticker for your car. It says AAA on it, on the back. And just
Actually,
an oval and just...
Yes!
I do have some stickers from the AAA creators.
Yeah, I have one here, but it's on my
perfect
tablet. I can show it.
So, are there meetings involved with this AAA?
Sometimes.
Usually about me.
What?
I'm not always
Until Frank shows up, then suddenly the meetings always end right when he.
That has happened sometimes.
You're like, hey guys, ooh, it's getting late. It's almost 5 o'clock. I gotta hit the sheet, guys. Good night.
They're always saying it's 5 o'clock somewhere, then they leave.
Yes, exactly. Well, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. Bye, Frank. I always thought it would be very scary if Frank took his goggles off and his head was actually shaped like the same exact way.
That would actually be hilarious to do on like Halloween.
You'd be like Hellboy.
Yeah.
Do like one
this
of
is
those
just a covering.
things.
It just keeps it warm.
Or even worse, you take the goggles off and you have 2 big eyeballs right there.
I have an idea though. I should do like little makeup eyes underneath.
Wow. Yeah.
Pull the mask off and there's like.
Do you ever wear the mask like that, like down, when you're not robbing a bank?
I look more like a wrestler, maybe.
There you go.
Yeah. She's like a luchador.
Yeah, you could totally break into cars and nobody would know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wait, that's not how this works, is it? Frank, you. I know it's a hero, but you'd make a great supervillain too. At the same time.
Yeah. That's been said before. That because I have
more than once.
Yeah.
Where is it? When I wear a mask, I use my COVID mask, and I do this.
Yeah, that's a If I was in a burning building and saw you come in, I'd be like, no, I'm good. I'm good.
It's all right.
Yeah, thanks, man. I have another arm. So.
It's okay. It'll grow back.
And then look, he's kind. He's kind and helpful without that. So.
Yeah.
As soon as you take the mask, you should go like this. Like that should be your key pose. Like that. That should be the keyframe for this episode.
Yeah. Already do that thumbnail.
Yep. That'll be the thumbnail.
Sorry. Someone take a screenshot so I don't have to. Which, when I would wear these, I like to smile at people, so it's always weird. I'm trying to smile and they can't see it, so they just kind of look at me.
Yeah. Yeah, who'd ever thought you'd be a day where you'd like wear a mask into a bank?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. Although
I was always told not to wear a mask, and
I did it before COVID so many times, but yeah, gotta make a living, you know.
Like, oh, time to go to a bank. Where's my mask?
So if I get any extra viewers, extra subscribers after doing this episode, do I have to pay you guys?
No, you don't have to.
Zillion monies.
But there is a coffee account. Sorry. Dang, I didn't mean to press on Gary's.
That's the thing now.
Watch that.
What was he? How do you...
There's a gift I've given you. Take it. Take it and.
What did Gary say? I hadn't seen that one. Squatchy, if you're watching, you have to work Frank into your comic and make it so his goggles are concealing 2 extra eyes.
Yes. Yes.
I was gonna draw some, but then I'll be stuck with some marker.
Yeah.
Oh.
We've been doing this so long tonight. We haven't mentioned queso not once.
We have.
Time to mention it.
Are you into the queso?
No, I have no idea.
I made the queso run in 17 parsecs. I love queso. And Tex-Mex queso is the best.
Yes.
It's so good.
Only my Hispanic audience.
I know.
Hello, Hispanic audience.
It went over your cabeza.
Cabeza.
Hmm.
La cabeza es.
Do you guys have Chewies out there?
Yeah, I'm a Chewy.
No, in Texas, the chain. Chewy.
Oh, I don't think so. No.
It might be a Dallas thing. I've only been to Dallas and Fort Worth. Same thing. But I've only been there in Texas. No, I've been to Austin.
Oh, okay. I don't think there might be, but I haven't seen it here in my area.
Chewies.
With the salt mines of queso. The salt mines of the cheese mines.
It's in the backpack. Front pocket.
Frank looks like a Star Wars bounty hunter in that outfit. Yeah, I was actually told that because I did wear these to church runs because I do the parking lot duty, and it was hot, so I took my goggles and I took a mask, and someone said I looked like from Star Wars.
I see it.
I look like one of the sand people.
Guys, have you ever seen this technology?
Technology.
Oh, was that a Game Boy? Oh, it's an iPod.
That's right.
Yeah, it's been a while.
And so I thought this was a little story. I thought this was stolen. Somebody had broken into my car. Well, actually, they just opened the door. They unlocked the door of it nicely. And they went through everything. They took a bunch of change from my console. I'm like, thanks. You can have all of the pennies. Thanks. So they took all of that, and then they made a mess going through stuff, but there was nothing to take. And I thought they took the iPod. It was gone. I was like, oh. And then a year later, I found it. Like it was like hidden. Like it somehow got. I don't know what happened, but I found it. And but now the battery doesn't work anymore. So they must have taken the energy out of this somehow. So hope you guys are happy.
To take your
they stole its energy. And
Isopods.
Isopods.
Yes.
I miss it.
Yes. iPods are great, by the way. iPods are. Do you know what, Anna? Do you know what an iPod is?
Yeah, you listen to things with it.
Yes. To MP3s. Do you know what MP3 is?
Yeah,
you know
I've made a few.
You know what an RTF15 is?
No.
Well, Frank's not going to tell you because it's our secret.
Okay.
It's really cool. It's the best. Everyone knows
best.
What
It's classified.
RTF15s, RTF16s, they're great. The best. I remember those.
All the teens.
Back in the olden days.
Yeah. You'll have to Google that too. Spend hours Googling it. So.
Do you know what a Walkman is, Anna?
Do you know what a Walkman is? Probably. You've probably seen a retro movie where they have a Walkman, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that like another form of media player?
Mm-hmm. They played these things called cassettes.
Yeah, we used to have cassette tapes.
Yeah, although people are getting into cassettes a little bit now. It's like a kind of a little bit of a hipster thing, I guess. Just like yeah.
Gary, do you have any cassettes?
I
remember in college my friend excitedly telling me about MP3 and me telling him it would never go anywhere. So Gary was one of those guys. That's a fad.
Told you so.
That's not.
And then he hit Gary with his sword.
Yep.
The end.
I was wondering if
Wow.
that was the story.
Probably.
But then Gary said, "Get out." Which, if you want to hear that story, you can check out the episode where Gary Hodges was a guest. He tells that story.
Oh, wait a minute.
That was a callback.
Wait a minute.
It was a callback.
No, it wasn't me, Anna.
And then he was decapitated.
Yes. And he died.
The
But he's
end.
back.
Such sweet stories being told right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I had like one last question that was more interview oriented, but we totally
Sure.
like derailed from that.
Every show I'm on.
And I just let it go.
Yes.
Well, go ahead. We'll rail it back in, or get
Oh,
back on
okay.
track.
Let me get
Now
back to
that
the
we're
character.
10 minutes overtime, we'll just
Okay.
say, what was one of your biggest challenges as an animator? Big challenges.
I think it is the battle of laziness when it comes to being an animator. That's my biggest challenge. I am constantly tempted to be lazy and go, well, she doesn't need to move her arm. The arm can just be there. Nobody really cares. And sometimes you don't need to move the arm. Sometimes you do. So that's
Okay.
was definitely when to be lazy, when to not. So
Okay.
That's a serious, fairly relatable problem.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A lot of people have trouble moving their arms. So
Yes.
Woo.
Paul, we do
Yes.
ask hard-hitting questions sometimes.
yes.
I do have a question that I was saving. What makes you or anyone in particular a professional?
Another hard-hitting question.
Good question. I think you at some point have to make some kind of money doing it, or trade. No, money. So it doesn't always have to be money, but that's kind of like to get in the door of the professional building. You got to have made some kind of money, because then there's stakes.
Mm-hmm.
And you can buy stakes with the money too, but money is definitely one of them. And then, oh boy, I'm trying to think. Like, what is there a difference between being a professional and a hobbyist? I guess the more that you're monetizing, I guess, the more professional, I guess you could say that qualifies you.
Okay.
That's like a really shallow answer, I know, but I think that's the truth. And I don't rarely, I have made money doing animation and my films, and I have been paid for things, but I've also posted a lot and just done stuff for free for for the love of it too. So, but,
yeah, like I've done that too. I've made some money, selling comics, whether it's digital or the physical minis. Most of it, I just like to share it. So like I've given stuff away just because I want to share it. So that's something I've thought of. Like, what makes, like, is it a certain amount of money that makes you a professional, or just that there's money sometimes coming in?
You can be a professional and never have made a dime, but you have to be striving to make money and have an attitude that I'm trying to make money with this. I'm a professional. You know what I mean? So it's not the amount of money, but it's the idea of this is being traded a service for payment of some sort.
Yeah. How do you feel about digital comics or PDF comics, online comics?
Oh, I think that's a great idea. I like that idea, but I'm a good person to ask, because I'm kind of like the layman when it comes to that. I'm not a huge I read every comic book, but there's a comic online. It's kind of mature, but it's called What We Mean by Yesterday. It's by a guy named Benjamin Marra, Marra. It's great. It's on Instagram. He posts like 5 pages a day. He does it in a little lined, I've seen the making of, he does it in a little lined sketchbook, like with 9 panels. And then he posts, he posts like 5 or 6 panels a day. Like you have to scroll over. It's super easy to read and it's super accessible. That's the key for online comics. I'm not a big fan of online comics that press a button and they go like the paper's wrinkling and then it turns. It's kind of neat for a little bit, but it gets old. It just has to be really simple. Yeah. And I always wish there might be already, I don't know, but you know how they used to have the Sunday morning funnies? I always wish there was a website or an app. An app would be better, where you could select which comic strips or comics that you wanted all in one scrolling thing. Like up here would be, Peanuts or whatever. And then down here would be, Bacon by Lonnie Millsap. Go read it. That's my friend. And then, but like you can just customize it, like have like your own newspaper page, I thought that always wish there was like an app that did that. I also wish there was World Peace. In that order. World Peace
app,
number 2, second,
and then
app first.
So
But,
if any of you want to get some of my own digital comics, in my link tree, there is a link to my Gumroad. I actually have 2 comics that are free. Those are horror comics, so I'm just going to give those away, but those are going to be limited. After a couple of months, I'm just going to take those down. But you can also get the Captain Goggles and Masked Woman comics and some other comics that I've made, so you can check those out. And I like the old newspaper strips. I used to read those. That was one of the things that got me into comics to strips. Off Mad Magazine, a bunch of stuff like that.
Me too. Mother Goose and Grimm. I used to love that one.
Yeah.
The Far Side.
Far Side, yes, Far Side.
And you know what one?
I have a couple of books.
I tell everybody this. I love this one unironically, non-ironically. Family Circus. I love it. I don't care what anybody.
Yeah.
I thought it was great.
I like Family Circus.
Yeah, I think it's great. A lot of people, clown on it, and I get it why they clown on it. And there is a Family Circus though, where they change the words and they make it really bizarre, and it's actually pretty funny. It's really weird, but it's pretty funny. I like that one too. Okay. And then what else? Heathcliff, not Garfield. That's my vote.
Okay. We got Gary here. Another question: do you think a creator's motivation can affect positively or negatively their work? For example, doing it for money or for love or to impress someone, etc. And he says, that's a great idea. I would download that app. Which I would too. I like reading old strips.
Well, I'll answer Mr. Gary Hoget, is it? Gary. Hoget. No, I think it's Hoget. It's French, pretty sure.
Oh, Joe says Comic Ag apparently is one, but there's that.
Thank you for the insight.
To answer Gary Hoget's question, absolutely. Because when you're motivated to take that little extra step, or you're feeling the flow or the force, you're on what we call in the business, you're on a roll. You're just kind of feeling it, and it's hard to do that when you're doing something that you don't believe in, or that it's painful to do, you're not enjoying it. And as an indie creator, I've said this a million times, as an indie creator, you better be having fun, because the chances are you're not going to get rich doing it. So if you're losing out on money and you're not having fun, it's like to quote Charlie Brown, wah, wah. Yeah, it's like, why kill yourself twice like that? You at least have fun if you're not making the big dough. you know. And if you're making big dough, doing something that might be exciting in itself for a while, you know. So.
And Paul says Jim has a catalog of cartoons that stands out like I've never seen. That could make him professional.
That's the key word there is could. He's being very sarcastic. Paul, that was very mean. That was hurtful that you said that. I am astounded at the level of hatred being exhibited by Mr. Pate at this evening. But thank you, Paul. I appreciate it.
And Gary says it's pronounced hojes. Spanish.
Hojes are delicious. I like the chocolate ones. Chocolate hojes are
with the cream filling.
Yes.
We have him on again, and we're just gonna say hojes.
Hojes. Oh yeah, he's a little openly cruel on Paul's part.
Yes, Paul. Paul's known for that. He is just vicious. He is the human equivalent of a prison pen. That Paul.
Boy.
By the way, go check out online his animation. He's got a film called Redemption. Type in Paul Pate Redemption and help him redeem himself. It's a great Western film, and he's got a few others. Paul Pate's first animated film that he ever created won some Michigan Film Festival, like right out the gate.
Wow.
So he peaked quick, you know, that guy.
He peaked and that's it.
It's over, Paul. No more.
Oh man.
You win. You win life.
We gotta have Paul on one of these days. So.
Yeah, he'd be a great guest. You have Paul on, and then you could have Gary on, but just don't let Gary say anything. He'll just sit there. In fact, Gary could.
I'll meet him.
He could be working on his comic just the whole time in a little box on the bottom. It's good to have.
Which we usually go for an hour, and we went over the hour.
Oh my god!
Hour
Do I get
21.
Do I get time and a half for this?
Yep.
Sure.
Yep.
Okay, I'll wait for it.
You know what?
Some invisible money.
Send me your address, and I'll send you some comics.
That's a deal. I'll take that.
There you go.
I think Gary has gotten some of my stuff, so has. Well, no one else here, but other people have got some stuff.
Yeah. You can watch
nobody.
a ridiculous amount of free stuff from me on YouTube because I put everything on YouTube. By the way, I will this is like a plug thing, and my patrons will know this. I do post exclusive stuff early on Patreon. I do have a Patreon. Any amount. Cool. I don't care. You can give me $1. Shameless self-plug. I don't care what anybody gives me. They can give me $1 or you can give me $1,000. Although $1,000 does make you a better human being. I'm just saying. But I always post my cartoons on there early. With the cartoon I'm working on now, I'll be posting that on there early, and I'm going to have a Patreon. I won't say exclusive series, but I'm going to do a kind of a behind the scenes thing that I'm working on.
Okay.
About characters. I'm totally ripping off Gary Hodges, by the way, with this, but it's going to be about characters, and those will go on Patreon early, so that the patrons get that way before anybody else, as they do with everything, as they do with my life. They get my life before anyone else. So
I sent you stuff, Pete. I actually don't remember. Cool.
So thank you to my patrons.
Just sending everyone stuff.
Yeah, I didn't even remember. So cool. I'm glad I sent him stuff.
Minis by Frank. That sounds like a designer thing, you know. What are you wearing? I'm wearing minis by
Frank.
My mini goggles.
This bag is designed by Gary Hodges. This is made by Frank.
This glove is designed by Rob Designs.
Oh, I love your blouse. What is your blouse? My blouse is Banana Anna.
Banana Anna, Rob.
Sounds about right.
Oh, Gary says, maybe we should race to see who finishes the character vid first to keep me on task.
Okay, Gary, ready? Go. Start now. I'm catching up. Gary, better hurry, Gary.
Text me the pages of Frank's Mini so I don't have to buy it. Well, at this point, I pretty much just give my stuff away. So if you want, just DM me. And if you want to drop something in my copy account, feel free.
Well, the fact that we've gone over, I think, just says to me that I'm the best guest ever. So.
Did we go over with Gary's? I don't remember.
I don't know. If Gary's goes 5 minutes more than mine here, I'm gonna sit here for 5 minutes. I'm not kidding. I'm just gonna be like this.
Just...
I will not be undersold by Mr.
Jorge.
You watch out.
And
I
his
actually
creamy
plan
feeling.
to go overtime.
By the way, I did have one question.
Sure.
About Peter Palmiotti. Peter Palmiotti's name on this screen, and I don't know if they're rewatching this. I don't know if they can see the chat if you're watching this in the future time, but it says Peter, and then in capitals, Retro Palmiotti. Is that because is there another clone of Peter that's out there that was created
It has to do with his
trying to destroy or something? Because I need to know.
This
I
is
think
his time
because
for a shameless plug
Peter
in the chat.
is really into the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Or is there... Explain yourself, Peter Palmiotti.
And not just
Peter
the
Retro.
ladies in their 80s. Damn it, Jim. It's got I went 1 minute past Gary's video. Good night, everybody. I'm like Richard Branson, where he has to go into space a day before Jeff Bezos or whatever. Yeah, that's me.
You planned it.
Thank you for flying, Air Jim.
All right.
Retro is
okay.
a comic character, soon to be a comic.
What's
Yeah.
up?
By the way, I don't know if you know this, but Peter Palmiotti, super talented guy. Super talented. And very nice, too, by the way.
Hold on, goofball. We haven't signed off yet.
Oh, I started to sign off.
Peter Noir Palmiotti works only in grayscale. Okay. All right, so I think that's our time to sign off, and we'll start with you, Jim. Where can we find you besides your bedroom or your house? I mean,
You can find me
Earth.
in the greater Los Angeles area. If you're ever in town, stop by. I have an extra room.
Just somewhere in Greater Angela.
Yeah.
Los
I mean,
Angeles.
just look up Jim Lujan.
Let's yell my name out. You
Sure.
can find me at jimlujan.com. That'll take you to my YouTube channel. And if you like it, subscribe and click the button for all more, do that thing. And yeah, but I have a lot of films there, a ton of stuff. And then one thing I'll tell people if they go to my YouTube page, check out the playlists, because I've got one that's all like process videos. I got one that's all music that I've done. I've got one that's all me falling downstairs. But
The series.
yeah, and then the other thing is, like I shamelessly was plugging Patreon, if you so choose to dare. And thank you to everybody that is a patron. I really do appreciate it, and I definitely will continue to do early and exclusive things there. Like I'll reveal my PIN number and my social security very soon.
You do a face reveal.
Yeah, don't tell
Or
anyone.
you hide your face.
Don't tell anyone. So that's where you can find me. Thank you. And hey, by the way, thank you, Frank and Anna and Frank, Goggles and Rob, Banana Anna, and Prison Pen. Thank you guys. This was a joy, and I just in the short time that I've been watching, it seems like every week you're getting better and better. And
Yay.
now you're literally right now at this minute you're at your best. It's the best. I think it's the best.
Yep.
All right.
That makes sense.
Yes.
Totally.
And Anna, where can we find your stuff?
At Anna Raub Arts on Instagram and Anna Raub on YouTube. And actually, I gotta give a little hint. Jim is right. I am at my best because I just got a new mic, And it's
A Commodore
welcome.
64. All right.
it's a new
Commodore
drawing
tablets.
tablet connected to my PC, so now I'm gonna practice. And actually, you were talking about animation, and I'm getting kind of excited because I want to play around in Clip Studio Paint and a couple of other programs.
Do it. Make a movie. Just do it. Don't ask permission. Just do it. You got it.
But it's a Cintiq Wacom tablet.
Cool.
Yes.
And I'm gonna show my newest art tool, a stick.
That's a screenshot right there. That's scary.
Frank, you're not supposed to point weapons at the audience.
Better make sure your cell door's locked tonight.
Oh,
Paper cut you.
that's great. Well, thank you
Well,
for
I
joining
know.
us.
I know. I got us.
I know. I keep getting called downstairs. The neighbor showed up and had some extra cash
Okay.
that she wanted to hand me.
Oh, cool. Oh, okay. Well, you're being a professional. So you can find me,
Landscaper.
my link tree there, Salazar Art Nation, Salazar Art Nation on Instagram. I do have a Gumroad where I uploaded all 3 of the Captain Goggles and MASKUP mini comics that I have so far. It is $6. That's a lot, but you get a lot. You get 3 comics and you get some printables. So you can get some Captain Goggles and MASKUP bookmarks, coloring pages, and 2 paper crafts. So check that out. It really helps me a lot. There's also a Teespring store where you can buy some Turaco merchandise and a shirt that says "Make Comics, Not Excuses." And thanks for everyone in the chats.
And
we
don't
got some
forget to
comments.
pick up my new book.
It's the worst.
There you go.
All right.
And Judd
All
says
right.
prison pen. Peter Retro
Yeah,
Pomodati says
and you also said
pig pen
animation.
peanuts.
Pigpen peanuts.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Wow.
Animation.
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 And I do want to say to Jim, I think the first time I talked to you in a stream like this, I think it was on the 48-hour art check. I think it was actually my second time on being one of their streams, just kind of like popping in. And you encouraged me to keep doing comics and to make an animation, so that's something I do want to work on.
Very
as
cool.
well.
As you should. That'll be fantastic. You should do it.
All right. Bye, everyone. Thanks for
See ya.
checking us